we're going to take a look at the new booking system now. And this is a fantastic system that lets you sell availability based products in one of 3 different types, and we'll go ahead and have a look at those now. I've actually set up 3 pages in the site here already, one for a cookery course example, one for a camping example, and one for a car hire example. So what we're going to go and do, if we actually edit the first page first, so we can go ahead and do the cookery course example, and then I'm going to go to insert booking products, and I'm going to make a new booking product here called cookery course. Hit enter to add that, and I'm going to change it to individuals. So let's say we're running a course and there's places for 30 people on the course. In fact, what I am going to do in this one is I'll just come back to that in a second. I'm just going to rename the product to include a time here, and what we'll do later is add another time slot just to show how 2 separate products can actually be used to allow people to choose a time slot on the same day. So we can choose separate price for concessions or separate price for children, and then we can say that a booking of more than 1 person should actually include at least 1 adult if there are children included. If that one is available, we're just going to disable both of those for now and go into edit availability. So the concept here is that we are assigning availability to days in a calendar, and those days are based on different rates. So for a cookery course like this, we're assuming there'll probably only be a single rate, so we're just going to call it normal, and then we can say how much it's going to cost the person per day, in this case per course. So we can then click done, and now it's just a question of painting on the availability to the days. So we literally can just drag and drop. So let's say there are 3 days that the course is running, and then we tick the normal rate that we added here, and so now there is availability on those 3 days. So we've got 30 places that can be booked out on each of those days now, and we can close that, and what we'll do is just drag this product onto the page here, and we can see what it's going to look like. We'll just go ahead and click publish now, in fact. So we can see here that if we go ahead and enter a quantity, we get the availability dates showing up. We can see our 3 days there, and we can see that none of the other days are actually available. So if we go ahead and choose 1 day here, and we can see the price update in real time as we adjust these. So let's say there are 2 people going, we'll select the 1 day and we'll do add to basket, and we can see here number of days 1, number of people 2, see which day we've booked and the total price, and then the customer can go ahead and check out. We'll look at what it looks like in the admin in a minute, but before we do that, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other booking product types. So if we go into the camping example, what we can do here, it will go into booking products, new booking product, camping, and we're going to change this to groups. We can choose the module name here, which is going to be pitch, number of pitches available. Let's say we've got 5 pitches, and number of spaces per pitch. So this is the number of people we can take in a booking per pitch. So let's say 8. And we're going to say let's do a minimum charge per pitch. So that's going to let us define an amount that we need to see per pitch. So 1 person could book out the whole pitch, but they would need to pay a surcharge if the per person fee was less than the minimum price per pitch. So again, we're going to do a rate, and we'll do peak here because we can do multiple rates. That would be applicable for something like a campsite. Rate per person per day, let's say 6, minimum daily price per pitch 20, and click done, and let's say we're going to make all of May available at peak rate. And what we're going to do actually is say some of these weekends, let's say 7 and 8, we're going to do only bookable as a complete block, and we're going to do that for all the weekends here. So if somebody wants to book out one of these weekend days, the system will actually force them to book out both of them. So that's a very useful little feature. We can close that, and we're going to go ahead and just drag that onto the page and hit publish. So again, it looks basically the same. We can go ahead and say let's do 2 people, go over to May and choose 2 days in May, and we can see the total price, and it says including a £16 under capacity surcharge. So that's because we haven't booked enough people to cover the minimum price per pitch. If we increase the quantity, it gets to a point where it covers it and tells us the final price, and we can go ahead and click add to basket, and we've got that booking product in the basket now. So let's go ahead and look at the other example, which is equipment items in the car hire example. So we go into booking products, and we can leave this as product, and we'll say number available. Let's say we've got 7 cars to hire out, and we can go ahead and edit the availability. We'll just do normal rate per object per day, say 70 for car hire, and we'll go ahead and make some days available at that rate, and click close. And we can just drag that onto the page and click publish, and again it looks the same. Let's say we want to book 2 cars. We'll go into May for 2 days, and we can see the rate is updated there, and add to basket. Okay, so I've just synthesized the process of paying for that order, and we can now see straight away that the basket is empty, and the red status badge up here is indicating to come back to the welcome screen, where we can see we've got 1 checkout order. And if we click that, we can do show order details, and we can see all the order data from this view. Obviously all this data would be fully populated by PayPal as well. And if we go ahead and click the bookings view, we can actually see a calendar overview of all of our bookings and availability, and we can see immediately that we've got a booking on this one because it's gone away from green, and when it's red that means there's no more availability left at all, and we can see the actual booking data for that day showing up here as well. And on the right here we can change to add new booking, which actually lets us manually add a booking in to the system. So this is perfect if you want to take a booking over the phone, for example. Read out the price to the customer, and then you can manually create the booking. If we go ahead and look at the other one, we can see our camping availability here. We can see the 2 days that we booked. As we change the day there, we can see which day in their stay we're actually clicking on. So we can see this would be the 2nd day of the this person's stay. And here's the car rental one, and we can see that this person has booked out the car on these 2 days. So that's a great overview of your whole business using that view, and you can also use the order view this way, and these views are all printer friendly as well, so you can just print this out and have a nice document. In fact, this view is also printer friendly. If you click on a day and print this, you'll actually just see all the data for that current day without the calendar, so that works well when you print that as well. So let's just go ahead and actually look at a few clever tricks we can add to the system. So if we go back to the cookery course and go into booking products, what we'll do is actually just duplicate the 10 AM one and rename that to 2:30 PM. So let's go ahead and add the availability to that one as well. So that's normal and £10. We could charge a different amount here for the different time of day if we wanted to, and we're just going to go for the same 3 days and choose that availability and click close. And now when we add this to the same page as the other one, what we get is a nice view automatically combined, and the visitor can actually choose which one they want. Let's say they want the 2:30 one, they can go ahead and choose that. If they wanted for some reason to book out both, they can do that, but if they select a combination, the days will match up the combination here. These days are available for both, in fact, but if we said try to book 31 here, we know there's only 30 places, even though this one would be okay because they've selected they want both, then the days all go grey and they can't actually make that booking. So they could do one of each if they wanted, and that would be a question of just adding to the basket. And both products are now in the basket ready to order. And while we're here, we'll go ahead and have a look at the only bookable as complete block. So if we have a look at the camping example where we set that up, if I click on a Saturday where we had the only bookable as complete block, we can see it's highlighted both days there. And if we try and do anything differently, it won't allow us. It forces us to book both days. So very powerful little feature, very fast, very elegant, and all nicely integrated into your website.